But from what I learned in NBA 2K21, which I don't want you guys to forget when considering your purchase for 2K22, is that one patch can completely change the game that's in front of you. I think a lot of us forget what we experienced. We kind of get amnesia when something new comes out and we forget what we just experienced. For a lot of cases, it was all good just a week ago, but in 2K's case, it definitely was not all good just a week ago and hasn't been good since the release up into its current state, NBA 2K21. Now we're looking forward to getting NBA 2K22, and I would love to help you guys make a better and more informed decision on which version of NBA 2K22 you should purchase. I want to review each one of these. We have the $99.99 version, the $69.99, the WNBA version. We have the cross-gen digital bundle, which is available for your PS4 and your PS5. But keep in mind, from what I gathered, the information that I gathered, your progression is not going to carry over into the next gen version of the game. So if you're progressing on the current gen version until you get your next gen console, you're not going to be able to carry over your progression, from what I understand so far. If you guys heard differently, please let me know in the comment section below. My team progression will carry over. So if you're my team player and you intend to get it for your PS4 until you get your next gen console or your current gen Xbox console, your progression will carry over into the next generation console for my team gameplay. Aside from that, if you're a park player, rec player, pro-am player, your progression, or my career player, your progression is not going to carry over. It's cross-gen digital bundle because they're going to give you two versions of the game for current gen and also for next gen at the cost of $79.99. And we also have the standard edition. I'm going to tell you guys which one I'm going to purchase during this video, but the first thing I want to do is go into the 75th anniversary edition, the Legend edition, as we all know it to be. The Legend edition, donning Kareem, Dirk, and KD on the cover. We're going to scroll down and see exactly what you guys get because nothing much has changed. One thing we have learned about 2K is that they remain consistent on their marketing approach and their business tactic, but they have refused to remain consistent on their gameplay and gameplay mechanics, on what functions well from one year to the next. So I kind of want to remind you guys on what we experienced for NBA 2K21, so that way you can make a better decision on NBA 2K22 and which version to pre-order or purchase. We get that 100K VC. We also get 10K My Team points, 10K My Team tokens, and a bunch of other nonsense that's usual that shouldn't even be considered incentives for 2K, but for some people, they deem it as incentive enough to spend $100. Now, the reason why I wanted to go into the Legend Edition, the 75th anniversary edition of NBA 2K22, is because this is the one that offers that 100K VC. And the 100K VC is usually the biggest incentive that 2K has to offer. At least that's what's the most enticing. Let me know which one you think is the most enticing, but for a park player and a rec player and a pro-am player like myself, somebody who's going to create a player, the 100K VC works perfectly for me in previous versions of 2K. At least that's what I experienced. But from what I learned in NBA 2K21, which I don't want you guys to forget when considering your purchase for 2K22, is that one patch can completely change the game that's in front of you and how the game functions. In other words, usually for players like myself, we'll go out there and we'll make a build with that 100K VC kind of ASAP. We'll say, hey, you know, we're going to make a build ASAP. Let's go create this type of build. We find out which build is best and we create that build. We spend a good time in the player builder to create the right build that we think can get us through the year, or at least one build that can uphold through the year. But from my experience on NBA 2K21, I had to create a multitude of builds because every patch seemed to change the game. And that's what I don't want you guys to forget, that the patches change the game, and more times than not make the first player that you create complete trash, and it's not so much a viable option to compete against other players on 2K. So I want you guys to keep that in mind when you're considering that 100K as an incentive, that the game may very well change right before your eyes, just like that, and that 100K VC goes down the drain, and then you're looking to invest another $50 on VC to create a new build. So keep that in mind when you're making your purchase. Don't let the 100K VC be that enticing, because that's how 2K kind of hooks you. Patience is a virtue, and I kind of want to ease back into my relationship with 2K. I think a lot of us should be easing back into the relationship with 2K, because listen, I was so heavily excited about NBA 2K21 on next gen that the disappointment hit me that much harder, and I don't want you guys to experience the same thing. If you guys follow the channel, you know I deleted 2K21 multiple times over. I tried to give it a shot, and then I deleted again, and I tried to give it another shot, and then I deleted again. I don't want to have that same experience with 2K22, so I want to ease back into it. This is why I'm going to be purchasing the standard edition. I'm going to slowly walk through 2K to see what's been changed. Approach 2K from a more analytical standpoint to see if 2K is actually evolving. And I want to share my journey with you guys on NBA 2K22 from beginning to end. I don't even intend to spend money on VC. You know, one of the allures of 2K, the reason why a lot of people lean towards the 75th anniversary edition or the Legend edition is because there was an allure to grinding to Legend. But as we come to realize, the grind to Legend no longer holds that same value. It used to be where you grinded to Legend and you got, remember, I was a Legend on NBA 2K20, so I got to experience a little bit of this, where you got a lot of props for grinding to Legend. You know, the community really supports people who take on that grind. But the value is no longer there, especially when 2K doesn't incentivize that grind to Legend. You don't really feel that value when you accomplish such a huge task as grinding to Legend. So being that the incentive is not there, it's kind of have lost its value, the whole grind to Legend. And that's why a lot of people will get the more expensive version of 2K, so they can get a step ahead of the competition by getting that 100K VC and quickly creating a player, upgrading that player to a competitive level. But I don't see that this year. I'm going to slowly ease my way back into 2K, and trust and believe, if it's a great game, I am going to grind to Legend. If it's good, I'm going to grind, and hopefully you guys would join me on the grind to Legend if it's that good a game. We'll just have to wait and see. Keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully it's that good, and we'll take on that task to grind to Legend. The $69.99 version of NBA 2K22, the WNBA 25th anniversary edition with Candace Parker donning the cover of NBA 2K22, is exclusive to GameStop and also exclusive to next gen consoles. And then you got the standard version, which is the version that I will be getting. I will be purchasing the standard version of 2K and easing my way, slowly going along my experience with 2K, so that way my expectations aren't super high and I don't get super let down. I just wanted this video to serve as somewhat of a reminder on what we experienced for NBA 2K21, and hopefully we can approach NBA 2K22 from a different vantage point where we're not just let down, our expectations aren't that high, and we can ease our way back into the 2K experience. If you guys found this video helpful and or informative, please consider dropping a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, as we intend to have a ton of next gen content coming your way. Catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.